Hello once again, Niner faithful and any others who might be joining us. Welcome to Johnny Dell's Football Academy. Today we're going to be looking ahead to the huge matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday Night Football. These are two teams that have a lot to play for. If the 49ers win, they will lock up the number one seed in the NFC and not have to play any road playoff games. If they were to lose, they could drop to the 5th seed, and any road to the Super Bowl likely has to happen on the road, as there has never been an instance of two wildcard teams meeting in the conference championship. For Seattle, they're looking at either the number 2 seed or the 5th seed as well. Both teams look similar on paper, but in reality are very different. While both teams look to run the ball, the way they do it is very different from each other. While both teams excel in generating explosive plays, the way they do it is also much different. What is similar is the style of defense these teams play, with Robert Saleh being a former assistant in Seattle and bringing the same zone coverage principles with him. Both teams are dealing with a ton of injuries, with the 49ers missing 5 defensive linemen and 2 offensive linemen, as well as several other players. Seattle is dealing with injuries to various position groups, but none more notable than the running back group, with the headlines this week being all about the return of Marshawn Lynch. I expect this to be a hard-fought game, much like the first meeting, and it will most likely be a game that comes down to a handful of plays here and there. While the fan in me wants to see the 49ers lock up the game by halftime, I don't see any glaring enough weaknesses on the Seahawks to be confident the game won't be decided in the fourth quarter. With all that being said, let's dive into some film and see what the 49ers can or must do to set themselves up for success this Sunday night. While it sounds like something every team says they want to do, the 49ers must be able to run the football. One area of the Seahawks that hasn't been playing up to a level that we've seen in years past is the front four against the run. So far this season, they are ranked 24th against the run. One way I would like to see Shanahan change things up is by going to a more power man scheme. We've been primarily a zone blocking scheme, but I think that Seattle plays zone better as their linemen are more quick than they are powerful. The Cardinals this past week were able to hit a huge home run off a power run play. They're just going to come with a 26 power. And watch how far they are able to collapse the line down and open up a huge lane for Kenyon Drake. With the speed the 49ers have at the running back position, this would be a home run as well. Also to note, they don't have Earl Thomas in the back end anymore, and their deep middle safety has struggled with proper angles of attack this year. Again, notable in this big run. He underestimates Drake's speed or overestimates his own and takes a poor angle. In the loss earlier this year, the 49ers really struggled running the ball consistently, utilizing more zone runs. When they were able to beat the Seahawks last year, they were able to do so using more power run plays, like this one here. On defense, one thing that we can do that we've done against other teams is using a late defensive rotation to confuse Russell Wilson. The Cardinals did this several times, but what's notable about it, and something we have to be aware of, is they did it when Seattle wasn't in a large personnel package, like when they bring in an extra lineman as a tight end. Here, it's nothing extraordinary that Arizona does. When Seattle motions a receiver across the formation, Arizona is going to flip their coverage. They're in cover 3 zone. The Seahawks are running mirroring concepts. They're running stick concepts to both sides. This is pretty common and was really common in the Bill Walsh days. Walsh called these PAS reads, or pick a side, where the quarterback is to pick a side to read based upon the defense. Before the shift, Wilson sees that the Cardinals have a linebacker in flat coverage. But when Lockett motions across, the Cardinals flip their defense and will now have a safety in the flat responsibility, with the linebacker that was in the flat now being in a hook curl. When Wilson takes a snap, he reads the wrong defender. The read on a stick is against the flat defender as it's an outside-in progression. Because he thinks the linebacker is in the flat, he thinks the first out is open and nearly throws an interception. Late safety rotation is something that we've done in a number of games this year. We also nearly got an interception against Aaron Rodgers by also using late safety rotation. Another thing Arizona did was they had a good plan for when the Seahawks brought in Fant as an extra tight end. They would often dial up pressure and play man coverage behind it. When Fant is in the game, the plays are pretty predictable. It's either going to be a run or a deep play action pass. So Arizona didn't wait to react, they attacked. By coming with the blitz, they were able to aggressively fill run lanes and then not give Russell Wilson time in the pocket. When Wilson has to turn his back to the defense, he isn't able to see the rush coming and escape like he normally would. With their rushers getting one-on-ones, it was able to expose Seattle's interior line in pass protection. Watch on this play how the left guard gets blown up and their backup tackle gets beat by Chandler Jones. By the time Wilson turns around, he's got pressure in his face from multiple directions, and his only option is to throw the ball away. This was something we were able to do earlier in the year as well, and I hope to see us continue to use. On this play earlier in the year, we're going to do the same thing Arizona did. We'll come with a blitz and play man coverage behind it. Even with keeping a tight end in to block, it still creates one-on-ones along the interior of the line. DJ Jones, who is now out on injured reserve, blew up the center on this play and was able to get to Russell Wilson immediately, even though he had Lockett open on an out route. So if we can run the ball and stop the run, we'll be set up to start hitting some play-action passes, which Seattle has been susceptible to. With their front not playing well versus the run, linebackers Wagner and Wright have been very aggressive against the run all year long. If you watched my review video of the Rams game, there was a play we ran that I mentioned to keep in mind when this video would be coming along. It was the Y Speedo off-play action. That's what Arizona is going to run here. They run a Y Speedo off-play action. In case you missed that, the Y Speedo has a clearing route, an underneath occupying route, and an over route from the tight end, or a speedo route, hence the name Speedo Concept. By running play action to that side, they grab KJ Wright up. And with the clearing route and underneath routes occupying the deep third and flat defenders, they now have a tight end open in the intermediate area. Again, as you've seen from the Rams game, this is a play straight out of our playbook, and one that, as you can see, could be very effective if we are able to get any sort of a run game going. The difference would be, this would be George Kittle running free through the secondary. Another option versus the Seattle linebackers are RPOs, or run-pass options. Here, we're going to run a simple RPO with an outside zone to the bottom, and then just have Deebo Samuel on a slant route. I know this is an RPO because the center is going to look to get upfield on the play, whereas if he's not run blocking, he puts himself in danger of an illegal man downfield call. By coming out with a wide front, it puts Wagner as the lone off-ball defender. Since he has to beat the center to the point of attack to fill his gap, he has to aggressively attack the run. This is what Jimmy G sees and looks to hit Samuel wide open on the slant. You don't get much more open than that, and Samuel has really elevated his game since then, so I do expect this to be a great option to attack Seattle. So lastly, going back to the run game, one thing Arizona did when they didn't run blitz was they used a favorable alignment up front versus Seattle's tendencies. Seattle is going to bring Fant in, so Arizona is going to take away a zone run to that side. In an outside zone like this, the center and guards are going to be responsible for scoop or reach blocking these two interior linemen. A scoop or reach block is when they have to cross the face of the defender and seal them off. However, Seattle's interior line has not been great all year, and by putting both interior linemen in an outside shade, neither player gets sealed off, and they were able to blow up the run to Fant's side. Saleh has done some different things with his front, but not much like this. I'm hoping he takes a key from Arizona here. When Fant is in the game, more times than not, they run to his side. Well, that's it for this week, guys. Hope you enjoy the scouting video. Like I said, this will be a hard-fought game, and the fan in me hopes that this isn't even close. I'm wanting the kind of statement win Seattle made against us in 2013. Seattle is a well-coached team, so I do expect them to be well prepared for us, and divisional games are always hard for anyone. I do like our chances. I believe we have the more talented team and have an edge in a number of areas. But like we've seen, sometimes it comes down to a bounce of the ball here or there, or a rookie free agent kicker shanking one into the tunnel. Being that this is the most important game of the year so far, and how badly we need the bye week to get some guys healthy and ready for a playoff run, every fan must step up on the pregame rituals. Whatever your good luck ritual is, do it in double. If you've been slacking during any of our losses, time to get your head in the game and strap up. For my family, game day nachos will be in full force. Jerseys will be on, and many cheers and shouts will be happening. Here's to hoping that this will be the last scouting video for 2 weeks. As always, if you'd like to support the channel in any way, I'll have links for that below. And as always, go Niners!